And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Go ahead and say it, Ed. Go Tigers!
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
You like that? You like that?
F it. Jamar's down there somewhere.
In the room, saying select Marcus Davenport.
No!
Splash Brothers. Yeah.
It's playoff. Keep going, Brace.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
What is up, guys? Dirty Boots Sports, and we are back with episode number 184. This time we got a special guest. We got Nick, a.k.a. FastBreak, in the house. Tell him what's up.
What's up, everybody?
So we're back with this, just like we did last year. We got him on for his All-Star game that was happening, and very good success. I mean, it's one of the bigger events in high school basketball in the state, I would say, and got him back on. He's come around with us for a couple times since then, and big basketball guy, helps us talk about the underperforming Heat and all them stuff like that. Right?
Jimmy Butler
right.
or Hurry Butler?
Yeah.
What about Jimmy Butler and the Fallout Boy video today?
Yeah, I know. I saw that. God,
How's it feel?
Is that why he took a leave of absence?
Your franchise player is just a rock star. That's all he is.
He's probably going to be on the injury report trying to get out of them tight ass pants.
Yeah, that's right.
And likes to pick fights too, apparently.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it's oh, Peyton, you're in the wrong seat. Move down, or move down. Yeah.
All right.
And Peyton's coming into camera now.
Hey.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about just the All-Star game, some of the top players we got that'll be performing, and you got dunk contests, stuff like that too, right?
Man, of course.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun to hear. I know last year whenever we were doing this, and he was talking about some of the best players in the state, and then he just casually drops this Ahmad Hudson guy, and we're like, okay. And then
extremely casually last year.
Yeah, he said, watch out for him, and he has like LSU offers now, so. No big deal.
In like both sports.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
Yeah, he'll get to do whatever he wants to do.
But yeah, y'all got anything else to say?
Is your dunk competition going to be better than the one in the NBA?
Probably.
I can't
Probably.
Be worse.
My God, dude. Jaylen Brown was terrible.
Absolutely embarrassing.
Freaking
Man,
Jacob Toppin
But when he got
robbed.
picked, did anybody think he was going to be good at it?
No.
I
didn't know he could dunk.
Yeah.
He'd been in it before, but he was better back then. But
He just looks like he would say, my knees hurt. He just looks like his knees have to hurt. You know what I mean?
At what point, though, can we not, grab one of these YouTubers or Instagram guys?
they're trying with Matt.
Jordan Kilgannon. That's who I want to watch.
Like, if I can go on Instagram, YouTube, and watch dunks I've never seen before, why can't I see that in the NBA dunk competition?
Dude, I was on Instagram the day after, and Jordan Kilgannon put a video on. He threw an oop, he threw it in the air. He jumps, it bounces, he catches it, he bounces between his legs while he's in midair, and he's going to dunk it behind him.
Did you see what Jacob Toppin was going to do in the finals?
Yeah, that was sick. But why I think you were going to get in the fight?
Yes.
Yeah.
He throws in the air, it bounces, he does a 360 and then catches it, and then dunks it while he does a full 360, then grabs the ball in midair and dunks it.
It's sick.
That'd be impressive.
It was
he should have already.
Nobody
made
had ever done it.
The dunk he did was way better than anything Jaylen Brown did. So he got robbed, maybe because I had money on it, but who knows? And how about Jaime Jaquez? He just didn't need to do that. I've never seen him as a dunker.
They're gonna have to change it up.
They got to do something, man. Just get the big guys in there somehow.
Because I don't think
crap. Cat was doing dunks in the All-Star game that made me excited, and I've never even thought of him as a guy that can dunk. There's got to be some way you can do it, or either that or just make the 3-point contest the marquee thing,
or just do that. Not
it's
do
way
anything
more.
else.
It's way more exciting.
Don't do the game, or just do a 3-point competition.
Yeah, I mean it's way more exciting.
Do a bracket. Let's make it big.
Yeah,
I'm down for that. It's way better than anything else they do.
Yeah,
I enjoy the skills challenge.
The skills challenge is always fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't like how big the holes were that you threw the balls in.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Clay says, CP3 should throw the balls in half the size of the holes, man.
Yeah. Him and Steve Nash back in the day. Let's do an ad read and let's get into this. So we'll do Doug Damona Farm and Feed is a family-owned and operated farm supply and nursery. There you can find a wide variety of pet and livestock feeds, supplements, vet supplies, plants, seeds, and fertilizer. Located on Highway 167 just north of the Hodge Mill. You can be sure you'll be treated like family at Doug Damona Farm and Feed. From our family to yours, thanks for your business. So shout out to them as always. Go check them out. They got tons of stuff there. I'm not the biggest hunting guy, but I know they have all the needs that you can do there. What's in season, Peyton?
Turkey season.
There we go. I'm sure there's something for turkey season.
Gobble, gobble.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, let's do this. So, Nick, what we got? So, explain the whole process of the All-Star game and just the layout, what all we got going on.
Okay, well, pretty much, man. A few years ago.
Just bring the mic
Kiss
up.
the mic.
Yeah, you can just bring it up to you. It'd be good.
Several years ago, I guess at this point, but man, I would go to all these All-Star games that they'd have one at Jonesboro and they'd have one at Ruston and they'd have wherever.
Showboat.
And then they the Showboat. Shout out to the Showboat. They'd have the Coaches Association game. Well, when I first started filming, it was at Bipsy.
Yep.
And now it is at LCU, whatever it is, LC. But it's kind of like UL.
Yeah.
It's UL.
It's LC.
LCU.
But I mean, even then, it's a Coaches Association game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not. But there wasn't a true best of the best game.
Yeah.
They never got the big names.
And it was always, of course, up here, they might have some up north big names, but they don't have any of the guys from New Orleans. They don't have any guys from Lafayette, wherever. But so that was my.
And it never felt like those were a true good split.
Right.
Like it was
Right.
never even. It felt
right. And see, the first time I tried it, I was planning on having a big, true North versus South All-Star game was the 2020 class.
Yeah.
And
COVID.
everybody know. I mean, yeah, that
class was incredible.
That got ruined, man. That would have been like we talked about Jalen Cook, Jalen Cook and Reese Beekman and Chance and Papa up here, man. It was going to be crazy, man. But of course, everything got screwed up.
Yeah, he was with Jalen Cook.
I think
he's a
Ron
year
was
younger.
He was right.
They played together though.
Reese Beekman's still in college as well.
Yeah.
Still playing for
Still
Virginia.
not scoring either.
Hey, he's a facilitator.
National champion.
He is a national champion.
No, year after.
Was it a year after?
With Kyle Guy?
Okay.
I think so. But yeah, keep it going.
Oh, but yeah, man. I mean, we've had. I guess our first game was really 2019. It was a North Louisiana only game. I mean that it was literally thrown together. We had never done anything like that before. We just wanted to see what it was like.
Yeah.
Had some North Louisiana guys up there, and it was fun. Then of course 2020 got canceled, and then 2021 we had in Baton Rouge at Family Christian. That was the Canes and walk-ons game, and that was a lot of fun. That was really good. The next year we had it at Zachary, and that was the Solomon Washington and Dorian and all of those guys.
Yeah.
And that's still the best dunk contest I've ever seen. And I've been at a dunk contest that Mac McClung was in.
Yeah.
And Kevin Porter Jr. And that dunk contest for that Fast Break All-Star Classic was by far the best one I've ever seen. And last year we had it at Wasman, and it was great. I mean, everything was great. And so this year we're bringing it to Central Louisiana. We're going to have it at Pineville High School on April 6th. And, we're going to have –
last year's three-point champion, AJ2, right? Or was he in the competition?
I think he won Beast of the Week's 3-point.
Oh, that's what it was.
Maybe so.
That's what it was.
I think he won that.
We have an interview with him coming up soon. So he's on the ULM team.
Yep.
So, what's the roster looking like for this year? We got some big names.
We hadn't officially released the entire rosters, but I mean, there's some names that are given. McKinnis from North Central. I got Cavey from Winfield, DeCavian Duncan, my guy. Alan Graves at Ponchatoula. Let's see. A lot of people remember Cohen. When he was a sophomore, he lit Ruston up in the quarterfinals for 35 as a 10th grader, and for North Shore at the time. But several guys, man. One I'm really excited about is Trades Green from Zachary. Yeah, everybody knows Trades, so I'm excited about that. Of course, he got his senior season, basically stolen from him, in my eyes. So
can play one sport but not the other.
Right. So I'm excited that to even blessed to be in a position to give him an opportunity to play with some of these guys.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm sure that'll mean a lot for him to have that last chance to play high school basketball like that.
And I've got 3 of his Zachary teammates, in the game too. So I mean, he'll get to play with some of those guys, and of course guys from all over the state, man, from Shreveport to New Orleans to Lake Charles to everywhere.
Awesome.
So we're excited, man. It should be a lot of fun.
Invite Brian Kelly to come. He might show up to support his future football player.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey.
Yeah, bring BK to Pineville.
I think that kid's going to be on the field his freshman year.
Yeah, probably so.
I don't think you're going to be able to keep him off.
Probably so.
Yeah. Let me put you on the spot right quick.
There we go.
We have like a dirty 5. We do things. We'll have a list.
Okay.
Give me a starting 5 in the state of Louisiana right now. It doesn't have to be position by position. Just give me 5.
Oh, it'd have been easier if it was position.
Okay, we'll do it. I mean, we'll do position if you want to.
Let me think. I'm gonna leave somebody off, man. I have a list in front of me. I can cheat off.
Who's the best player in the state right now?
Well, he's not playing.
Besides Trey Dez.
It's arguable probably between Trey Dez and this kid, but I really like Cam Williams. It's Greg Williams' younger brother from Lafayette Christian. And I don't know how tall he's 6'7", 6 something like that, 6'8", maybe. I don't know. But he can shoot from half court. I mean, he's kind of the exact opposite of what Greg was, because Greg was so athletic.
Yeah,
and I mean, Cam is obviously athletic too, but he's not a shooting guard that's flying through the air, But man, he's great.
Is he signed anywhere?
He is the highest ranked Tulane commit in their history, program history.
Yep. Shout out Tulane, man. They're doing it all.
They are
all sports, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good for them.
But yeah, him.
What's the kid in Shreveport? He's actually ranked the number 1.
The Calvary boy.
Yeah, the Calvary.
The freshman.
Is he Williams?
Are
No.
you talking about the freshman? No, you're talking.
He's a senior. They list
Southwood Jeremiah.
Yeah, Southwood
Jeremiah Evans, I think.
6'7", 6'8", I think.
He's committed to UL. Pretty sure.
Jeremiah Evans.
Yeah. But I
hadn't seen any video of him.
He's good. He's good, man. I've only seen him a couple times. But I like him a lot. He's very easy to talk to. As a kid. I mean, he's great to talk to and all that too. But yeah, I got him. Trey Dez, Cam, probably Alan Graves, which is of the Graves family that's a lot in college sports, but Ponchatoula. Let's see. We'll put my boy KV in there just for the love. Shout out to KV,
my boy.
Yeah, man. Let me round it out with with Cohen. No. I don't know, man. It's tough, man.
We got a good 6 man
dudes,
coming off the bench.
They got some dudes. I mean, you got Jordan Moore, Cohen, Ty Jones at Newman. I mean, you got Madison Prep's duo they have. I mean, there's several guys, man, that are really, really, really good.
Does Dunham have anybody this year?
Dunham has a freshman that is going to be incredible.
There you go.
There's
that school's like in a neighborhood
for later. To
okay,
listen to,
we got a freshman.
Yeah, man, Elijah Haven, and he's gonna. Just like Ahmad, I mean, it's gonna be basketball and football.
Okay.
I mean, he's their quarterback, and he might throw and catch. He might throw it to himself. I don't know. But yeah, man, he's gonna be really good in both sports. But
what happened to the kid from Newman? Did he graduate last year?
Lockett.
Yes. Where's he at?
He is at Boise State.
Yeah, because never understood that.
Yep.
How does that happen?
I was watching him in Lake Charles last year, and I'm like, look at him, like Boise State.
Yeah, how does that come to Louisiana?
Watching him as a freshman, I recorded it on my phone and sent it to people. I said, "This is Javonte Smart, reincarnate. Like he moved like him, he dribbled like him. His mannerisms, everything just screams Javonte Smart."
Shout
but
out
yeah,
Javonte
Chris
getting
was
a
good, man.
10-day the other day from somebody, right?
Really? Good for him.
I forgot who it was.
He's
Blazers,
still
maybe
hanging around.
Celtics, something
Blazers.
Like that. Yeah, it was one of them.
I think it was Blazers.
Did he hang around college a year too long? Is that what it was?
No. He actually,
or did he peak at the right time?
He peaked at the right time. Yeah, Wade got making him better and better every year. What about he's not a senior, so the kid from Sterlington I keep hearing about.
Man,
that's what that's
Coop.
the same reaction I get when everybody asks.
Coop is a bucket.
That's what I hear, man.
He's something else. I hadn't got to see them this year. Matter of fact, the 2 or 3 times that I planned to get to some of their games, they played so early in these tournaments because the team wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Overall, but they had a down year. They lost Cardez Norman last year and Cooper Smith, and this is Cooper Nelson that was a freshman. And as a freshman, you knew he was gonna. It's not really a surprise, but he's still even exceeding some expectations. High expectations. I think he had a 43-point game. He had several 30-plus games this year.
Yeah, he popped off early in the season too.
It's him and when they played St. Fred a few weeks ago, I think it was like him and some kid from St. Fred apparently went off.
St. Fred's has a freshman that is very good, Parker.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know they got that football player that's a freshman there.
I bet it's the same kid.
It's probably him.
Yeah, it's him. It's got to be him.
Jonesboro played them in the Bayou Jam, and they had some young kids out there that were pretty good.
It's got to be Parker. But yeah, man, Coop is awesome, man. And he can do.
That's what Sterlington needs. They don't have enough success.
And see, last year he spent most of the year facilitating for the other Cooper and Cardez Norman. And this year all of the scoring load is on him, and he was ready. He was ready for it. So I think I might be wrong. I think they got an upset maybe in the first round.
Yeah, I'm looking for that.
They may have went down to New Orleans or somewhere and pulled off an upset. I know they lost
St. Fred.
Sterlington.
What
division
D3.
are they?
They're D3 non-select. They lost to French Settlement.
I can't keep up with all that.
French Settlement.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
They beat Ville Platte round 1.
That Ville Platte. Yep.
French Settlement.
That's who Winfield beat last year,
Winfield
right?
beat them in the semis. All-white team. They're like
a
Catholic school.
Yeah.
Were they another name? Is that a new name? No? Okay.
What we got to talk about now? Peyton, you got any more questions like that? Or anything off the top of your head?
Can't think of anything right now. Trying to think of some of the guys that I watched last year down in Lake Charles that were not seniors that were coming back that impressed me.
Well, we can just look through the brackets if you want.
Yeah, I'm putting it all together. The Ponch kid. What's
I was just about to bring that up,
dude.
Because
the tall kid?
Graves,
he's 6'8" and he's a guard.
Alan Graves for Ponchatoula.
That was the dude you texted said it's the best player here.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes.
Good,
by far, he
he's
was the
good.
best player there last year.
And see, what's interesting is
his family sat beside me.
If things fall based on the seeding, if nothing crazy happens, which a lot of crazy has happened in the last 24 hours, so you never know. But if it's Ponchatoula and New Iberia in the semifinals, which that's a rematch of the championship game, their Nisha star player was also a junior. Wayne Randall. So it'll be them against each other again. So
legit rematch.
I'm looking forward to that, man. That should be good. And of course both of those guys will be in the All-Star.
And then on the other side, they probably get Zachary or Rustin. In the championship.
Whoever wins that one, I think is gonna be on the other side.
Central. They're not going to be able to beat either one of them.
It'll be tough to beat Zachary or Rustin, man. Shout out to Natchitoches Central. I've filmed them a couple times this year, and they look good. But I think Zachary and Rustin and Rustin and Ash are two teams that their ranking does not do them justice. For whatever reason, we talked about Rustin kind of having a slow start this regular season with football going so deep, but yeah, man, that's two teams that both 8 seeds that you as a 1 seed you may can still hold them off, but you do not want to see them in any round.
Ash at St. Thomas More.
Yeah,
St. Thomas More always finds a way to be good.
Yep.
And you never think that they're going to be that good, but they always find a way to be good.
It's the most disciplined. Yeah, I've seen them a few times this year, man. As always, man, it's the most disciplined team that you'll find.
I mean, in any sport they play,
I've never seen
shoot,
Edna Carr do anything in
I
basketball.
saw that. I was kind of shocked at that.
It's weird that they're not the athletes they produce.
Yeah,
so the Ponch kid, you might have already said this. Is he committed anywhere?
He is. Let me double check on this. I want to say UC Santa Barbara, maybe. Hold on. Let me.
How? What am I missing?
How they come
let
down
me
here?
make sure. I may have just made that up completely.
What's their
Gauchos.
The Gauchos. That's it.
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
I know
That's
that's
Carlos Stewart.
Carlos Stewart.
Yep.
Is there a coach on staff that's got connections to Louisiana or something there? That's weird that you get 2 kids like that.
Or they might have noticed him. Well, no, because Carlos Stewart's like 20-something now.
Yeah,
huh?
Carlos has been out for a couple of years now.
Wow.
Yeah, that Punch kid, man.
I'll do some research.
Impressive,
Which, I
man.
mean, like I say, I mean, I don't remember exactly the lineage, but like his brother, I think, played at LSU. Maybe his sister was somebody was at Auburn, a good athlete at Auburn. I think both his parents were college at. Like he is known,
Yeah,
people would know
due
him
to
and his
happen.
family,
Yeah,
so.
his family sat beside me at their game, and
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't hard to figure out. It was his parents.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they all look like athletes.
Right.
Like they got
his brother looks like a skinny version.
Yes,
of,
he does.
Of Allen. Yeah.
But man, he is fun to watch.
I think his brother's name is Marshall Graves. I think. But
Weird seeing Scotlandville as a 10 seed. What's happened there?
Scotlandville has.
They're not the premier school there anymore, correct?
We knew. I mean, I remember on Press Road last year when Catholic beat them, and Scotlandville was graduating like 6 seniors, and one of them was Sample's son. We thought, man, this might be it for a Sample as far as coaching, and it was, which made sense, I mean, but yeah, which his assistants, some of the guys that were his assistants, took over, and they've done a good job, I mean, they've got Jamal Drury, a little point guard that has been there for a while. He's really good, but they've got some guys, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. I mean, and that happens
for 5-10 years. They were every year.
It can't last. It can't last forever unless you're Madison Prep.
For almost 15, because it was
Or
when I was
LCA,
it was when
maybe,
I was in high
football
school.
wise.
Yeah,
But even whenever you see them as this 10 seed, if they beat Liberty, you wouldn't be shocked.
You don't want to play them.
Exactly.
No, yeah.
that would be a good.
It's just
that
one
was
of those.
the name.
It's the
It's
same thing
environment.
with Richwood. I'm like, Richwood's just always good at basketball. Like no matter what, they're always going to be good, and you never want to play them no matter what.
Yep.
It's
like
crazy.
Peabody.
Like Ravel, Peabody,
Yeah, the War Horses. You don't want them.
Lakeview. I mean, it's just a name that's associated with basketball.
Yeah, Lakeview
Louisiana.
somehow always, both girls and boys, are always going to be good. They're always going to be down there.
Oh, they got thumped the other day. Them girls did.
Arcadia, I think.
Arcadia
got
must be good again.
Arcadia's got that Alexandria girl, whatever her name was. They have her sister now, and I think she might be even better. So yeah, they're probably going to win it all and win it a couple times. But yeah, let's run through the brackets real quick, and you can just kind of give us some names and some games to watch. Select. We'll start at the big one, Division I non-select. You talked about it off the pod. Zachary Ruston.
Yeah, man.
Almost enough to make you go down there instead of go to Winfield.
Winfield's my guy, so man, I'm probably going to end up there. But yeah, man, Zachary and Ruston, that's got to be. There are several really, really big matchups, but I don't know how you can find a bigger one than that. I mean, of course, a rematch of the football state championship.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
So I expected, if you'd have asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have told you. Of course, this was probably before the news with Trey Dez and all that broke, but I would have said, I think you'll have a rematch of the football championship and the basketball championship. Well, I mean, the way the bracket fell, whatever, Ruston's slow start, has them at 8. But man, that is it's got to be the game of the in the state, for the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's a box office one. New Iberia and Southside, that'll be a good man. I love those playoff games when you get two teams that are close together.
Yes,
and when you know that there's already, they're in the same.
They know each other.
They may be in the same district, or whatever. So, but New Iberia and Southside is one that I bet that's going to be a great crowd.
How nice is Zachary's gym?
Very nice.
It's nice.
Very.
So that'll make it even.
Here we go. New Iberia, Southside played each other.
The most packed high school game I've ever been to in all my years of filming was 3 years ago. Liberty at Zachary, and it would it's incredible. Like it's unbelievable how many people were in that gym. It's a huge.
Yeah, I know
gym.
their football field is phenomenal. Best
obviously.
in the state.
Did you? Yeah, Jordan Collada did a behind the scenes deal on their facilities, with interview coaches. Their facilities are like college level.
Because that's
crazy,
kind of
man.
that's the BR school almost
unreal.
now.
Yeah,
is Zachary.
Yeah,
that's where you send your kids.
Southside New Iberia played February 9th, 32-29. What kind of scoring is that? Is someone running out the clock?
Scoring?
I went to it was at Southside. It was Southside's tournament. I went to who you got pulled up? Go to New Iberia. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I'm trying to think. It was they played Ash and then they played Zachary. I think maybe
right there.
Yeah. 39-37.
It was
Zachary.
I want to say that Zachary was up like 17 at halftime, and it was like 25-8 or something like that. And Nish's kid, he just was having a terrible game.
Does New Iberia run like a 2-minute offense or something? Like what's happening here? All their games are low scoring.
Because
no freaking shot clock in the state, so you can do whatever you want.
Then the second half, man, he turned it on and he got some shots to fall in, and they came back and ended up winning. But I thought then, like, man, these are two teams that you would think on paper you'd be like, man, this is going to be 67-70 or something, like not 39-37, but whatever it was.
It looks like they do that. I mean, Liberty 44-46. Yeah, Ash 46-26.
Kind of like last year, that was it a Port Allen Patterson game.
Yeah, they just held the ball for like
one
8
possession.
minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you got to do that.
Hey, it worked eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Delayed us getting home by a very long time.
It did. But yeah, so that's the top dogs there. Ponchatoula's the 2 seed.
Yeah, then you see, Slidell and Ponchatoula. That's another,
Slidell
proximity game, man. I haven't seen Slidell, but you just think, man, if they're this deep in the playoffs and playing each other, it reminds me of my freshman
5A
year.
schools too,
My freshman year, us playing Calvin in the quarterfinals. Like, man, that was like you can't ask for a better. Looking back on it, you can't ask for a better situation than that.
Winfield, Lakeview, or
that would be crazy.
Lakeview playing,
So.
We had Jonesboro Grambling one time in like the second round, my senior year maybe or junior year, one of them, and that was a good one just because it's two close teams like that. Let's look at D2, Iowa 1 seed.
Iowa.
They're good, man. They're good. They deserve it. They're not. That's not a team that hasn't played anybody and earned a 1 seed. I filmed. Matter of fact, they played Zachary, I think, when I filmed them, and they ended up losing, but it was not a blowout. It was close.
Yeah, 58-64.
Yeah, it was a great game. They've got, matter of fact, Deshaun Caesar for Iowa. He'll be in the All-Star game, and they've got another kid that's a shooter. A knockdown shooter.
Where's this at?
Yeah,
where
down
they towards Lake Charles, maybe.
Okay,
it is. Got to be
middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Got to be.
Open up the season beating Dunham, Madison Prep, Huntington, Wassman. That's about as good as you can play to open up a year.
What'd they do to Peabody? Lost by 9 or 10?
Peabody as well. That's a heck of a schedule. And then the bottom half of that bracket, Carroll, Bossier, Wassman. You got all the North Louisiana schools there.
Yeah, man. You got a rematch of the state championship game last year between Bossier and Carroll. Mm-hmm. So that'll be
are we going to get Carroll and Wassman and freaking Lake Charles again?
My prediction would be, and I'm going to tread lightly on predictions, but my prediction is going to be Carroll and Wassman, episode 630.
Yeah, it's just it always happens, but it always delivers.
Did the girls do it too? Or no,
I think Wassman girls are the 1 seed.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Wassman's girls are incredible.
Like best in the state, people were saying.
Oh, yeah, they blow people out.
Bastrop was like 29-0 and played them in district and lost by like 30.
30,
yeah.
I saw the highlights of that. Man. It was bad.
But
they always play, but they're always good.
Bossier's good. Like if
they're down a little than they have been, haven't they?
If you tell me that Bossier goes to Carroll and beats them,
it's
not going to surprise me.
No, it's one of those teams we were just talking about.
Yeah, but man, I've been. Like I say, I've been to several Carroll and Wassman games, and I've been to Monroe a lot these last couple years, and the crowd and energy and stuff that Carroll brings,
it's crazy.
Home quarterfinal game for them. They split
the games this year, so they're due for that third matchup.
Yeah, a home quarterfinal game for them is not an environment that you'd want. That's not somewhere you want to walk into, man.
Get that band going.
Yeah,
state championship band.
Yeah,
football state championship.
What's his name still coaching at Wassman?
Smith.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still there.
Yep.
Yeah, he kind of needs to.
He's so cool, man. That's one of the coolest.
He seems just like a cool dude, man.
He was such a big help last year when we had the All-Star game at Wassman, man. He was so cool, man. He did stuff for us that he did not have to do.
Right.
Even financially, he offered things to for as far as him helping us take care of certain things for the game and stuff. Man, it was great, man. And his whole staff, his son. My first year filming, really, his son was playing for Wassman at the showdown in the lake. And matter of fact, he was the one I think that hit the half court buzzer beater to beat Peabody the year before.
Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe Peabody was undefeated, maybe, or something like that. And that was Cedric Russell's Peabody team.
Okay.
And But yeah, CJ, he's on the staff now. So, did you see that?
Carroll has played Wasserman 4 times this year. My
Yep.
bad. They play in tournaments.
That should be against the law.
It should be.
They played the first time they played
January 5th
was the Washita, the Don Redden.
Yeah.
They played at the Don Redden.
Great
I was there
tournament.
for that one. The second one they played at Wasserman. That must have been Wasserman's tournament, maybe.
January 19th. Yeah, it's probably still tournament time, probably. It says at. So.
And then the third time was the game they played at ULM.
Okay.
Wasserman won like 21 or 22 straight against Carroll, which is unbelievable because it's not,
but they're always close.
Yeah, you see that and you think, man, these guys just dominate these other. And no, that's not the case. You know, I mean, this is, these were close games. And then I was not at the ULM game, but I was at the district championship, which is super cool. I know a lot of people don't like it because, theoretically you could go over in district and then get to the district tournament and then be district champions.
Yeah.
But they have a district tournament, and of course it ended up being Wasserman and Carroll in the final, which wasn't a guarantee because Richwood is also in that district.
It's different up there.
So, but they met up at Wasserman because Wasserman hosted the district tournament this year.
Yeah.
Last year it was at Union Parish, but Carroll finally got them.
Yeah, they lost 3, and then they beat them. They beat Wasserman this last time. So
Yep.
Wasserman's wanting that again in that. In that semifinals.
For sure. They want each other, man.
Absolutely.
It's so much fun, man. Because in today's basketball, especially like AAU culture, I mean, all these guys are best friends. These guys are friends. I mean, I see pictures of them hanging out and stuff, but on the court, man, it's different than what you see.
Going for blood.
Yeah, it's good. It's good high school basketball the way it should be for sure.
Yeah. Let's look at D3. So 1 seed.
One
seed French Settlement playing Donaldsonville. French Settlement. I always say that they're one of the teams that's just they play in an area where they don't get much competition to where like they're not
Doyle.
a true 1 seed necessarily.
Like Doyle,
I
there
mean Doyle's
beside
kind of the same way.
My,
but Madison Red River though, that's a big one.
My bold prediction. It's not that bold. They're 13th. My bold prediction is don't be surprised if you don't see Red River in the state championship game.
Yeah, I mean that's another one of them schools where if it happens,
they can do
it's
it.
Red River, man.
They can do it, man. I've seen them several times this year, man. They played Winfield close. They've played Lakeview close. I mean, they've
they only beat Jonesboro by 16 the second time. It's not bad.
Went down and they went down and upset number 4, Vinton, obviously, up by 17 or something like that.
67-49. Yeah, 18. That's crazy.
But
they've played Peabody. They've played Bossier. They've played big schools.
Yeah, man. I mean, they absolutely, and like, Madison and Rayville are in the same. I guess they're in the same district. I mean, they play each other every year, and Madison is good. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from them, and they could very easily beat a team in the championship instead. But keep an eye on that Red River team for sure.
And I hate that Red River doesn't get to host that. Like, the quarterfinal rule, I don't like that because a 13 seed goes down and beats 4. Let them host. Like, come on now. And then at the bottom, we got Winfield and Marksville, and then Richwood and Vidalia, who beat Rayville somehow. That still blows my mind, but it happened. So are we expecting Winfield Richwood here in the semis?
It's my expectation, man. I mean, I gotta tread lightly on what I say about Winfield, but I think they can do it, man. I mean, they've got the pieces.
Experience.
They've got the pieces. I mean, it's all. I mean, it boils down. They've got what it takes. Now
it's the same team from last year, minus 1 kid.
Yeah, you still got to roll the ball out there and play. And I mean that's why we
they
play
just
all
played
these
probably
games.
their best game of the year last night.
Man, they
right?
looked awesome last night. They looked awesome. So, but yeah, I mean, of course, Richwood. I'm almost positive that Richwood's star player in the clip that I saw, the Beast of the Week highlights, I think it was. At the very end of it, I think he's walking off the court and looks in the camera and says, Rayville's next. And I thought, imagine their faces when they got to the locker room and looked
Vidalia beat
and
them.
saw, we're going to play Vidalia instead. So, I mean, I'm definitely expecting I feel comfortable making this prediction. Richwood will be at the top 28.
Rayville's next.
But yeah, I mean, Marksville beat Winfield earlier this year, so I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a little rematch from a tournament.
This one will be at Winfield.
Yeah,
so that's a little bit different.
Man, last year's last year's Winfield quarterfinal game is one of the best games I've ever been to ever in my life.
Yep.
At Winfield and Richwood. Man, it was awesome, man. Of course, Richwood travels well. They've got an incredible crowd, but
I believe they brought 4 spectator buses to Winfield.
That wouldn't even surprise me.
And
man.
they had like one of them didn't even get to get in.
There ain't parking for that at Winfield.
Right.
Oh my gosh, no.
I park at the emergency room when I come. So,
Got to.
But
Got to.
But yeah, man. I mean, but I say that to say, I mean, Winfield had an incredible crowd last year. I mean, you know, and once it gets down, down to this playoff time, which I mean, they've got a good crowd all the time. But I mean, especially, this is when everybody comes out.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's different once the playoffs happen.
Right. So
especially when you got a team that literally just made it to the championship.
Had a
last
runner
year.
up.
Like that makes you even more excited.
Yeah. And man, I was telling somebody last night, man, I don't know if I've seen a team that feeds off of energy, whether it be from the crowd or each other or hatred or whatever it is that fuels them against the other team, whatever, like they do, man. I mean,
that's one of the special things about high school basketball.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
you can really tell whenever a crowd can change everything.
Yeah, you could tell last night the energy that they came out with against Gina in the first half. I mean, you knew very early on that this was going to get ugly. Yeah. I mean, I text somebody, I said, this is going to be bad. And I mean, it wasn't bad yet, but it was going to be. Yeah. But yeah, man, so if they can keep, and it's hard to keep that energy through several games, as a high school kid,
Definitely.
But I mean, when you go into it knowing,
and they'll have that energy because they lost to Marksville,
right,
so they're going to want that revenge.
And I mean, to be honest, man, I've seen Winfield several times this year, and I mean, there's been times where I thought, man, I mean, they made it last year, but you're not just gonna sleep, you're not just gonna walk to it, I mean, but man, last night shut me up on that. I mean, if they keep that up, that's a state champion caliber team.
Yeah.
It's a state champion caliber team at the very least. Like I say, you got to roll the ball out there and play. But, I mean, they've got what it takes.
Yeah. Let's keep it going to D4. Lakeview, shockingly, is the 1 seed. Who would have ever thought that? Only beat Faraday by 6, though. Kind of a surprise there. They'll take on Welsh. I'm expecting Lakeview wins that game and probably freaking wins it all just because they're Lakeview. Pickering and East Iberville. East Iberville's pretty good usually, huh? Upset North Central.
Upset North Central, which surprised me a little bit. Now on a point with Lakeview and several teams, man, I really kind of want to dig into this a little bit more once I can do some research and stuff, man. Or get some, talk to some of these coaches. But I'm pretty sure it was Brian at Lakeview that I saw a quote about him not liking the bye week.
Okay. Yeah.
And so with this split, we've got so many teams having bye weeks. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys hadn't played in 10 days,
Yeah.
They finished
I know
their season,
last year Winfield had like the tune-up game.
Yeah,
they
played Northwood Lena last year. They played Ringgold this year, which I think is great.
But
to keep
still,
your guys.
even then, it's not the same.
Right.
You don't have that atmosphere.
You know it doesn't count for anything.
Right.
Yep.
Like it's a 32 seed that is more than likely going to get blown out, but it's still a real game that matters.
That helps the 1 seed even more.
Yeah, it's a real game. That's all that matters.
So I say that to say, man, you got all of these upsets this year. I mean, North Central, Rayville,
Red River, Vinton,
Faraday hanging with Lakeview the way they did.
Yeah.
We're not to them yet, but I mean, Calvary Baptist. I mean, that was a surprise. I mean, all of these teams that have been off for
Ringgold
a week
only beat Block 66-60.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys are. A matter of fact, I thought, judging off of social media and the things I've seen coaches say and scores, whatever, Winfield was one of very few higher seeds that had a bye week that came out and played to their potential. I mean, it seemed like a lot of these guys were sluggish or something wasn't quite right. So that's something to keep an eye on. So
it's kind of like I understand it a little bit, but still, 1 through 4 having a bye is just really weird at the same time. Like 1 through 8, I can kind of understand, but 1 through 4, like that's just it never feels right. Like just throw 4 more teams in. What's it gonna hurt? Like what's the difference in 28 and 32?
Just do away with the bye week. I mean, just unless you literally don't. for some divisions they have that problem. But I mean, unless you don't have enough teams to field a full bracket,
let the kids play one more game.
Play, man. Like I don't understand that at all. But
they might have to travel and they might get blown out. But oh well.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Some seniors get one more game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the schools make money.
Yeah, and I do think I would not be surprised if during the off season or whatever, whenever they have these meetings, that's not something that at least gets brought up.
Yeah.
Based off of some of these games. I mean, because these guys have fought all year to get a high seed, and then sit and get rusty, and then come out and look like crap. And you're like, what do you do?
I mean, like Jonesboro, 27 seed goes down to Franklin, loses by 35, but they got to play one more game. In their heads, they were probably thinking, "Oh, we can do this. We can beat Franklin, whatever."
Right.
But yes, and that's a terrible drive. We made it for the football 2 years ago, but still,
then look at Franklin next round. They win by 40.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
so
and that's a 6.
They got their tune-up game in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy to see
what they
that.
should have done.
Yeah, just four more teams is all that matters. Just do it.
Also, with Franklin, shout out to Jacqueline Caesar. He's going to be in the game, man. He had a monster game last night. I saw the clips. I don't know if his mom or who it was. Somebody in his family, I guess, posted on Facebook. Man, he was dunking on everybody.
Oh, wow.
So I'm looking forward to which, I haven't
contest
favorite?
Seen
Oak, maybe. No, my the dunk contest favorite. Off the top of my head, every time I'd have to say McKinnis from North Central. He's been going crazy since he was a freshman, as far as I know. As far as dunking. But I mean, I don't know much about Oakdale, but a Franklin Ringgold semifinal game would be fun.
Ringgold's got to play Delhi though, who's always good somehow.
Yep. They'll get him at the whatever they call it, out in the middle of nowhere in Ringgold. But
the Redskins.
That's like Denver's altitude. Like you got to drive through. You got to see so many trees.
Go to Ringgold.
You got to see so many trees on the way to Ringgold. It like
disorients
you
and be like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of nowhere.
You can't get a pregame meal.
Yeah.
You got to bring a sandwich.
Yeah, you pack a paper bag.
Yeah, it's like they used to tell us when we'd go like to Calvin or wherever, somewhere through the woods. They'd be like, we'll stop and pick y'all up some pine cones y'all could chew on. But that's about it.
There you go.
Oakdale's never been good at basketball, have they?
The girls are.
The girls have been good.
Girls
lately,
won state last year, and they're probably going to win it this year, I think. I saw.
Boys, I'd never.
No. They're not good at any male sports normally.
Yeah.
No offense to them,
this is an interesting division.
D5, Zwally, Simsboro. I know Simsboro had a pretty down year to start off, but
the coach left.
They're still
Simsboro
at the same time.
The coach left when all the talent was gone.
Yeah.
Zawali.
Whenever he had to quit recruiting from Arcadia.
Zawali is good, man.
Are they back? They've been down for the last couple of years.
They're good, man. Matter of fact, you see Negrete right there. Not the first Zawali game, but I went to a Zawali and Negrete game earlier in the year. Well, probably last month maybe, and Negrete beat them at Zawali, and then
67-56.
Fantastic atmosphere. Like one those, I will say
beat them twice.
I will confidently say that the small school basketball atmospheres.
Yeah.
Big schools don't have any. I don't care if you could bring 3,000 people in there. They're not going to have the energy that those small schools do.
I agree.
I've been to more small school games this year than I have in a few years. Probably
it means more.
Yeah.
It really does.
When you got those basketball
those smaller
towns,
gyms too.
Yeah.
Like it makes it louder. It's crazy.
Yeah. You've got like Zawali ain't got a football team. I mean, Negrete ain't got a foot. All these guys are just basketball.
And a Coco.
But then.
Well, they got baseball and softball.
Tough gym to play in.
To speak to Zawali, though, at the rematch that I went to at Negrete, man, they've got a kid that's a junior, Preston Sanders. They call him Lil Ray. Dude had 39 and 20 in the rematch, man. He's awesome. He's not that tall. I mean,
back to Zawali, Clay.
He's probably.
Did they beat Natchitoches Central?
It wouldn't surprise me.
They did 82-73.
4 seed in D5. I mean,
it's
D1.
A good D1.
Good D1.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I'm if things work out, I'm hoping to actually get to that Negrete and Hicks game tomorrow.
Okay, so they're playing Thursday night.
Yep. So that's all I'll look at. I'll go through all the brackets and just hope I can find one game that's
Thursday.
off.
Where's Negrete at?
Over that way.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's in the
basically
same
in Texas
area.
Pinecone.
Yeah, same area.
Over that way.
Yeah, man.
Was hoping to talk about some Quitman on this bottom half, but they lost to Hornbeck round 1.
Well, that was a bad matchup. For
Was
them.
it?
Yeah. Hornbeck is one of those schools in Class B. You're like, they're coming out of that district that can just. That's a tough match. It's a tough team to play. I talked to Eli the other day about it. He said, "Man, they took me completely out of the game."
Really?
Yeah. He said I couldn't get a shot off.
He's on to golf now.
Yeah, he is. He
and
is.
And a Coco though at the bottom.
always
good.
I was at the Holden game Monday. They played on Monday, so I was able to catch that one. Man, Holden came out. They must be from around Hammond, maybe. I looked on GPS on my phone just to see, and that's what it pulled
down
up
there somewhere.
And but they brought a crowd to be going to Anacoco,
and they're good at sports.
And
that's a softball school,
they were loud, and of course everything was loud in there. But at the end of the first quarter, man, it was 16-11. Holden was up, so Anacoco who had a bye. This is their first game back. Allowed 16 points in the first quarter until like a minute left in the fourth quarter. So like from the end of the first to like 2 minutes left in the game, they allowed 8 combined. So man, they turned it on.
So they went on a what's that?
42
to 11 run.
Couple minutes, yeah.
42 to 11 run.
So yeah, man, they got a kid, Dustin Welch, man, that is awesome. That was of course I've seen him at the top 28, the past couple of years.
Every year.
It's great. I've graduated in 07. It's the same schools. Lackasine has been a top 4 seed probably.
Gibbsland Coleman
for 20 years.
Gibbsland Coleman's been good for a minute now.
It's crazy. Pleasant Hill, which they were Class C when I was in school.
Yeah.
Good for them. They got some enrollment. Where's old New Living Word at with their 10 kids?
Yeah,
they're starting 5 for the girls and the boys basketball team.
Let's do D1 select. So St. Thomas More, Alexandria. You mentioned that Ash is pretty good.
Ash is good, man.
That St. Thomas More is they just find a way to do it.
Yep,
they always do.
Yeah, but like I say with Ruston, Ash is not your typical 8 seed. Don't expect anything. Everything goes out the window with them, man. Because that's a deceiving ranking. But
Carr and Pineville. Carr's never had a reason to ever go to Pineville before.
That would be fun, man. I think that'll be fun, man. Carr's got Keith Jones. They've got a couple guys, but the one that, of course, stands out to me, Keith Jones, because he's a fast break all-star. But
there we go.
Of course, Pineville's got 3 guys, but with Javante Thomas kind of leading the way for them, the big man. So
Pineville, are they senior? A lot of seniors.
A few seniors. I'm not sure.
It'd be cool to see them get that top 28.
Yeah, man. I've enjoyed seeing them have some success, man. I love Chad, man, the coach down there. He's a great guy. Those are some great kids. Like I told you off the pod, I've spent more time down that way because of my kids, this past year or two than I ever have. But getting to know some of those guys down there, and not just Pineville, Ash and Tioga and just all of those schools down there, man. I've gotten to know a lot of those coaches and players, and there's some great guys down there.
I've heard nothing but good things about Pineville.
Yeah.
Like school-wise, too, it's a very well-ran school, I've always heard. Very nice school.
You got Shreve on the bottom versus Southwood.
All of a sudden, Captain Shreve's good at sports.
That is going to be good.
Man, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
They've got a kid, Jiren. He fast break all-star, but and Southwood fast break all-star Jeremiah Evans. But
there we go.
But man, that's one of those games. It's like I've talked about, man. It's the bracket. This bracket is full of, man. If I had about 15 clones, I'd be in good shape. Because man, I would love to be at Captain Shreve and Southwood.
You just need to say I want to come to the game. Change the date.
Yeah,
play
on
Saturday.
Can we stretch this out for about 2 weeks?
There's an official shortage. So how do they have referees for
this
all
is
these
when,
games?
There's just not enough games now. Maybe
now you're telling me you can do all these games. But yeah, man,
Still,
you got Captain Shreve and Southwood. That environment would be insane. And then there on the other side of that, Scotlandville and Liberty, that would be an insane atmosphere there. Regardless,
they're waiting on you, man. They haven't even announced the game time yet.
Just jot it
play
down
on
for Saturday, man. I'll be there.
Somebody play on Saturday.
Where's Liberty at? Is that Baton Rouge?
Liberty was Lee Magnet.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's where Boosie's kids went.
That's where our running back's from.
That's
Jackson.
right.
Yeah.
Caleb Jackson. That's right.
Yeah, I filmed. I actually knew Boosie's daughter when she played there with, I think the girl's name was Diamond, that her teammate maybe. I may be wrong on that, but she was very good.
When Jonesboro went to when the girls made it to the Final Four,
they were good.
They played like the game after, and everybody was freaking out because Boosie was in the building.
Yep. That was in Alexandria. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Atlanta was down there that year.
That was when Jonesboro lost to some little white girl that put up 40 on us.
She sure did. She was
from
good.
Where was she from?
Maryville.
That's it. Coinier was her last name. She was insane. Madison Prep.
She was Caitlin Clark of Louisiana.
Yeah, honestly, she was.
She shot every shot.
I think she went to ULL.
She did.
Like it was not fair. Madison Prep 1 seed in D3 or D2, playing Hannon. I'm assuming Prep's just going to prep their way to the championship.
Prep is unreal.
93.
Like, I was filming. I told you about the Iowa and Zachary game I filmed.
Yeah.
It was actually at Madison Prep. Was the one of their tournaments they had there. I mean, from where
they have all the tournaments.
From where I film at Madison Prep, I'm behind the scores table, so I'm about at half court on one side of the gym. The other side of the gym, you've got your banners for Jarrell Martin and Brandon Sampson and one of their guys that plays for like the Cardinals or something like that, and just all these people that they're like retired their jerseys or whatever. Then you've got like the whole wall, and you know that Madison Prep hasn't been a school for that long.
Yeah,
you know it's not like there's
20
some
years
story.
Maybe.
Yeah,
but
you've got like. You can just sit there and count, okay, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. Like, did they ever not make the top 28? And I don't, then everyone is a state champion. And then you got a runner-up sprinkled in there here and there. But, man, it is unbelievable.
Because they were runners-up last year, weren't they? They lost.
They've got an athletic alumni page on their school website.
That is insane.
I've never seen that before.
Probably deep.
I've never seen that before.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, like, some people know this, but man, if it wasn't for Madison Prep, FastBreak I probably would not still be doing FastBreak. I met Coach Jeff Jones, which is still their coach, at the Showdown in the Lake. The first tournament I ever filmed with an actual video camera. I met him and filmed the first game I filmed them. They played DeRidder. I'm used to Atlanta and Winfield and Calvin and a little Lakeview, which was, they were a show then with Adro and Cam and them, but I was still kind of in a bubble. Mm-hmm. And man, Madison Prep came out, and I used to keep count them because it was a big deal to me because I was so not used. Yeah, there they are, all those banners.
Oh, there it is.
Holy crap!
But
the whole court.
But man, they had
nice gym.
They had 9 dunks in the first half against Ritter. Windmill. I'm like, what lab were these guys created? This was Josh Anderson, Josh LeBlanc, all of those guys. But and then Jeff pulled me to the side, towards the end of the tournament. He's like, look, he said, if you're gonna take this filming thing serious, if you want to really cover the state, he said, I got a game Wednesday you need to be at. He said, if you're gonna do this, you need to be at this game. I was like, okay, whatever. It's like, what is it? And he said, it's Madison Prep in Scotlandville. And of course, that was the Javante.
Was that Javante?
Yep,
yeah,
that was Javante, man.
And Beckham.
And but man, that was they were so instrumental in. I mean, they took care of me. I mean, they'd make sure I would come down there, and they'd put me in a hotel if they need, whatever. I mean, they took care of me. But
is there any prep kids on the roster this year?
2. Okay. Jace Deprin, I think is how you pronounce it. I may be wrong on that, but and Josh
down
Smith.
South names.
The 2 super athletic wings. Yeah, man, they will.
I can't fathom going to a school like that and we're gonna be down there every year. I'd be like, I love Jonesboro so much, and we don't have that success in anything. Like I'd just be on top of the world. It'd be crazy.
It's really crazy, man. You look across there and see all those banners, and it's just that kind of sustained. Like, I don't care what anybody has to say about Madison Prep. I don't care what anybody has to say about recruiting or whatever you want to throw
go out
there.
there and play.
You still got to roll the ball out there and play, and that is unbelievable success.
It is.
It's a dynasty.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got down here. Lafayette Christian 6 seed.
Carver and LCA is an interesting
I was
game.
just about to say. Yeah.
Oh, we got a new school I've never heard of. Lord Beaconsfield Landry.
Is
that
Landry
LB?
Walker.
Okay.
That's Landry Walker. Okay.
They change names all the time. It feels like.
That man, all of those. Like I've said for a while, looking at the seating, but at the power rankings before the brackets came out. But when I was looking at Madison Prep, Carver, LCA, Peabody, like all these schools, like, man, this could be a loaded top 28, you know, and of course whatever they call it, March Madness, top 28.
I miss it being called that.
I do too. Man, it sounds and
how many is it now?
Is it top 40 now or
top
something?
40.
What's always funny to me is when I see the coaches posting about games and they're still calling it the top 28.
Yeah,
that's how you know that's what it
Yeah.
is, you know, like. But yeah, man, Carver and LCA, that's going to be, of course, another battle of some fast break. Also, you got Bam at Lawrence Nathan at Carver and Cam Williams at Lafayette Christian, man. But that'll be an interesting one. Carver's got a big. He's not very flashy. He's very Tim Duncan-esque, you know, but he's very good. I mean, he'll have 26 and 13 on you like it's nothing. Yeah.
Is that where the Washington kid went?
That's Solomon and Dorian, were at Carver a couple years ago, and but yeah, that one should be fun. And Landry's always got athletes, man. They're always a lot of fun. Like I say,
Why did you change your name?
I try not to.
This is the first year.
Yeah. I think they were LB Landry last year. They might not have been Lord Beaconsfield,
Beaconsfield.
Landry or whatever on the bracket, but
they have a good color as well. I love their jerseys.
That orange and blue,
green or whatever.
Yeah, you never see that much.
Of course, Peabody's Peabody. So you know, I mean, that is a loaded slate of quarterfinal games. And Hannon's got a kid. Man, he was a freshman the year that was 2021 because that would have been the year that Wilson and then were at Liberty, and Liberty was either Liberty or Zachary was there. Those were the two teams that Liberty, Zachary, and Carver. Those were the three teams that if you asked 100 people who the best team in the state was, that was the three names you were going to get. And man, they played Hannon, and a freshman came out and dropped 30. A big came out and dropped 30 on them, I think. And his name is slipping my mind for some reason, but man, he was incredible.
Is he on this team still?
He would be maybe a junior.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have to be a junior this year. But
lost to Zachary by 2 this year.
Yeah, I mean they're good. I mean it's not a like I say, man. You know, especially in a class loaded like that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they are the true 8th seed in that division.
Yeah, probably.
But
so.
That's not a typical 8th seed.
That's just a really good division for basketball.
Yep. Speaking of Andrew Walker, whatever their name is now, the Solomon Washington kid's kind of impressed me at Texas A&M.
He's awesome, man.
I didn't think he was going to be that good.
He's awesome.
And he's developed a little shot.
Yeah,
it's a corner three now.
Corner three
that shocked me.
Yeah.
I didn't think he had that in him.
Yeah, man. He's like
he's a
probably
freak
out the womb. He was a freak athlete
Yes.
and had that high motor. But yeah, man, he's rounding out his game.
He really is,
and that's dangerous.
Yeah,
that's dangerous for somebody as athletic and stuff as Solomon is, and defensive.
Athlete, defensively, he's really good. He can switch on any screen. I mean, he can guard all 5. Like he's really impressed me. I've watched him probably 5 or 6 times this year, and I've been really impressed with him.
Man, you talk about
I wasn't at high school, and I feel like because the box was always kind of
probably got boring for him.
And they were so good across the board.
They
man.
were.
It was him and Dorian both just going crazy, and then they had a kid named Willie that was a senior with them, man. But if you talk about the Dirty Five or whatever, you know, I mean, he's up there on my all time favorites of ever covering. I mean, he's awesome, man. But I saw the same clips that you're talking about, man. I'm glad to see him having success at A&M.
Wish he'd transfer.
D3 Newman 1 seed versus Country Day, and then St. Thomas Aquinas versus Episcopal, who
Country
as you mentioned upset Calvary.
See, a couple interesting things on this one, man. You know, you had all the stuff with Newman earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And I guess they went through the court or whatever process they did.
Okay.
You know, I mean, at least for now. I mean,
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months from now it may all change, but I mean,
Vanderbilt Catholic girls as well.
They self-reported.
Yeah,
losers.
Why
would you ever do that?
Ever
letting Prep go to the championship in another sport.
Yep. Hang another banner, baby. An interesting thing about that second game that we can see on our screen. Episcopal, of course, upsetting Calvary, which shocked me. But the kid I was talking about, Cohen, that from North Shore that upset Ruston a few years back, or a couple years back. He's now at St. Thomas Aquinas.
Okay.
So that's where this resurgence of their basketball is coming from. You know,
St. Thomas Aquinas beat a school I don't know exists, Helix Mentorship Academy.
Man,
It's Mentorship Academy. They just put a name in front of it.
I want to say
I've never heard of Helix. Yeah.
I want to say St. Thomas Aquinas beat Winfield my senior year, maybe in the quarterfinals or something like that. Because I remembered that name from a long time ago.
Yeah.
And see, Jonesboro beat them whenever I was
Football.
in school in the basketball.
Oh.
And that was the year that Jonesboro got state runner-up to Rico Gathers and them. We upset them on a Michael Burks three-pointer
I
at the
remember
buzzer.
that. Yeah.
I listened to it on the radio.
I think that's also who we played like Rob Donovan's like senior year in football though.
No, that was St. Charles.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same St. Charles that I've been
St.
seeing these
Charles.
past
It
couple
was?
years?
Yeah, blue and yellow.
Comets.
Comets, that's them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
St. Charles put 11 in the box that Charles beat us.
No, that was
No,
Charles.
that was
Rob Donovan.
Rob
You're Donovan. I'm
I
sorry.
thought it was
I'm
St.
sorry.
Thomas. You sure?
I
Okay.
thought it was too on that.
Dunham on the bottom side with
Always.
St. Charles and ULAB, and then Catholic New Iberia.
ULAB's just become good at everything now.
Yeah.
Don't know a whole lot about ULAB or Catholic New Iberia. As far as Dunham, like I was talking about Elijah Haven earlier, basically it's with the exception of a couple, man, it's a bunch of white kids that spread the ball and are disciplined.
There we go.
And a freak athlete that and I've seen him a few times, man. And he doesn't necessarily have to just go off offensively, man. I mean, he'll get every kid on that team involved. I mean, he makes great passes. He's like 6'7" probably. I mean, he's a super tall kid, super athletic. But man, if he ever decides, you know, I'm just gonna go at somebody, that he's gonna be hard to stop.
Let's see. D4 select. We've got Crescent City, 1 seed.
This is when it
versus
starts
St.
getting
Fred's.
watered down to me.
Yeah, me too.
And then,
It's bad for those. In those state championship games aren't real good.
Yeah, the select ones.
Now there are some interesting matchups I see here.
Lincoln Prep, St. Mary's.
Of course, Crescent City is one of those small private schools that is consistently,
Incredible.
back when Sean Dumas was there coaching. I mean, they're consistently in it. They've got a kid, I think McGee is his name. He was a freshman last year that went off in the semifinals maybe. But they're going to be good, man. They've got a kid, Giovanni Perez, that's pretty good as a senior. But who did it say that they're playing?
St. Fred's.
We talked about the St. Fred's freshman.
It was Menard.
No, that Jonesboro played?
Yeah, Menard.
We've played St. Thomas Aquinas at something, I feel like. And then Lincoln Prep, St. Mary's.
Lincoln Prep and St. Mary's would be interesting.
Yeah.
They've got
St. Mary's still plays some stuff at
Is
NSU?
Ahmad still the coach at Lincoln Prep?
Who?
Or Antonio?
Antonio? Yeah, Antonio's still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he didn't want his boy to play it with him?
He wanted to play football and at a big-time level is what he told me. I don't know if that –
Yeah, we beat Lincoln Prep in football. Jonesboro did. Lights didn't work, but we beat them.
I remember you posting about that.
Yeah, game started at 8:30 on a
We
Thursday night.
We're talking after we turn the camera off.
Okay.
That smirk, we're talking after.
Southern Lab, Hamilton Christian. Hamilton Christian's always pretty good. And
man.
always.
Westminster and St.
They have an
Martin's.
awesome logo, too. They got Hawaii's logo.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
And man, that Dexter
They host
Washington
a tournament, right?
Dexter Washington is their head coach. They host the showdown in the
That's
lake.
the showdown on the lake, yeah.
That is one the greatest guys, but one of the funniest coaches to watch coach, that I've ever seen. He's so much fun to be around, man. He's such a good dude. There's a few guys that, of course, I wish success for everybody, but there's a few guys that stand out to me that I think, man, I wish they could get one.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of them. Vic at Calvary is one of them. I can't wait till he gets one. Several guys, man, but Hamilton Christian's coach is definitely one that deserves one, and
always flirting with it.
Hopefully,
too.
he gets it sooner than later, man. They had caught a bad break against. Matter of fact, Southern Lab, I think last year, maybe the year before
2
that.
years ago.
Yeah, they caught a bad break against Southern Lab.
Mm-hmm.
But man, them and Calvary both have just been right at the doorstep, man, and then didn't. I want to say was before they shook everything up, was Newman in that division, right? Because I feel like
Newman was down for sure. Yeah, they were down.
Yeah, I feel like
being,
any other year, I think Calvary would have won it, and then Newman just pops in and like, oh hell, you know, like. But
Southern Lab 61-60 2 years ago.
That was a game.
And then Lab beat Calvary 57-54.
Yep.
Both your guys down.
Yep.
Freaking Southern Lab.
Yep.
It always happens. And then
in that year in particular. Was the year they had won the football state championship, and I think their girls had also won the state championship.
I think that was when
they brought all the trophies to the game and had them floating around the crowd.
I think that's when they played
cool.
Cedar Creek down there.
Okay,
Southern Lab did, and was not a good game. I'm gonna look at that in a minute. D5 select. Voiles public charter.
I don't. Avoyes is going to win.
They're actually good, I think.
Avoyes is going to win. That's all I really know to say about this division.
Yeah.
Like these are.
Well, what happened to Jehovah Jireh? Why are they a 10?
Say it again.
Or whatever this is, Jehovah Jireh. Oh no, how do you
Jehovah Jireh?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, my fun fact: my last career 3-pointer was against Jehovah Jireh. We waxed them in the playoffs that year.
They've been good for.
Of course, that was before
5
the
or so
split.
years now, right?
Yeah, man. They have a kid that.
Well, they don't have a lot of competition.
That really started.
Yeah.
That really started. To my knowledge, that started when they had a kid that's actually at LHSAA now. I think Johnson. Well, I know Johnson's his last name, but yeah, man, they've been consistently good for a while. I mean, last couple of years have been a little different, you know, but yeah, they're always a team to keep an eye on, though.
Yeah, there it was. Lab versus Creek, 60-42. It's closer than I expected, but yeah, that's all of the games right there, all the brackets. Got some big time matchups. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch something on some NFHS or something. I'm not gonna make my way to Winfield or nothing like that. Yeah,
you'll go with me if we make it to the.
I'll go to the top 28. Yeah, I'm not gonna go down for no quarterfinal game though. There, it's too many people. Too many people in a small building. And I don't know. I don't do that at Winfield.
I'll tell you one thing, man. And that's what I've learned. I'm a hoodie dude. You know, I love hoodies. I love
gym of the state.
Man, Winfield is ridiculously hot. But any of these games where, man, you get these packed out gyms, man, it's like an oven.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember all the times Jonesboro had to go to Lakeview, and it's always packed. You can't wear a hoodie in there.
Yeah.
And also, you don't get self-service either.
Yeah.
So it sucks. But
you don't get self-service in Lakeview, and you don't get self-service in Peabody. I think that's like that might be like tactical on Peabody's part. Like they probably installed something to make it as uncomfortable as possible. But
which I don't want them to move it because I got a good connection in Lake Charles. I can just stay at somebody's house and I go. But are they going to ever take it out of Lake Charles?
It needs to be back in Lafayette.
Thank you. It needs to be
Cajun Dome.
I love the Cajun Dome. I miss it.
Or put it in freaking Central Louisiana.
NSU
host it.
I love when they rotated it.
Yeah,
that was cool. And with the Tech, ULM, like
I would love for it to be at Tech or ULM.
That started, I think, in the middle of my high school years because
they had the idea.
My 8th and 9th grade year, we were at the Cajun Dome, but I think my senior year it was at Tech, and then the year after I graduated, it was at ULM.
One of the best games I've ever been to was Farmerville and when it was at ULM. It was Farmerville and
basketball.
Yeah, Farmerville and was it Waspin? I think, dude.
That would have been a district game. That man, you think about a state championship
for
game.
Farmerville, Waspin, and ULM.
Man,
ULM. It was standing. They had to shut the doors.
We almost got Carroll Waspin last year.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah,
that'd have been cool.
At ULM would have been insane,
dude. I'm telling you, they shut the doors for that Farmerville game.
Yeah, if they would do that, in Ruston or Monroe, man, I'd go every year.
Yeah,
I'd go every year.
But the only part that sucks when now Tech has it, they didn't have the jumbotron then.
Yeah,
which is like Lake Charles, they don't have one.
Right.
Like Cajun Dome, and it's not central.
Tech could absolutely host it.
Yeah, Tech could
because
easily.
They got plenty of the parking.
Yeah,
and the thing that blows my mind is because I didn't know this till last year because the first time I've been to the Lake Charles setup, it's not at a college arena.
Well, that's where Midwest used to play.
Yeah, it's at the retired arena.
Yeah, well, that's
so
the
we should
arena.
retire it.
Yeah,
see that's
Lake Charles doesn't charge on the venue.
Yeah, they got to deal with that.
It's free.
Oh, so that makes sense.
See, it's almost like they say, well, you know, this is close for everybody, or this place is close for let's just make it far for everybody.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah,
how about what?
All right.
Everybody but Lake Charles. Which, speaking of, you talked about, we talked about that Farmerville Wasman game. think one of the very first state championships I ever went to, as far as filming and stuff, was Washington Marion and Bossier, I think, and they. From the bottom row, Bossier's green. You know,
Yeah.
Washington Marion is green.
They're both
From
green
the
and
bottom row to the top of that Coliseum was green. It was crazy. But
That's when I was at ULM. That was the first time I ever watched Terrell Martin play in person, and I'm like, I mean, it's a 6'10" kid at a freaking tiny school, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like, this dude's gonna be the NBA one day, and then that wound
Yeah,
up being
he
the
was.
NBA.
see, man, I wish I had been, because I really didn't get into basketball really until I was pretty much grown. You know, I mean, I didn't grow up in a sports family. I mean, the love for sports and basketball that I have come from Atlanta. You know, I mean, just being there. But even then, I mean, I wasn't. You know, I was a junior or senior before I even really started paying attention to NBA stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just wasn't that into it. But man, looking back on, like you say, that I was at ULM because Atlanta played Pelican in the state championship that year. And see, I wish I'd have been more into it then, so I could have watched Jarrell and known what I was looking at. You know, because I mean, I met him a few years later when Madison Prep retired his jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I was at that ceremony and I got to meet him. But yeah, man, I wish I could have seen some of those guys and known what I was looking at. You know,
Yeah. I went to every semifinal and every final game was at ULM that year. Every night I was driving over there watching all those games. Like, it's nice when it's that close. I mean, like,
let us get that luxury that South Louisiana gets.
I mean,
you know, when I've not probably until a couple years into doing Fast Break, man, I would work a few hours in the morning, drive to Lake Charles, film all the games that day, get done at 9 o'clock or whatever it was, 9:30, drive back to Winfield, go to work the next morning, and do it all again, just because I was so worried. You know, like I had to pay my bills.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I had to work, but there was no way I was not going. Mm-hmm. So, man, that was brutal, man. I've had a hotel the last couple of years, thank God, and I'm never going back to those days. Yeah. But that was the sleeping in the Lowe's parking lot days when. But that's all part of the Fast Break story, man. That makes it cool. But
yeah, especially, man, that's awesome.
But that's a miserable drive. I hate driving to Lake Charles.
It's a boring drive.
It is.
It is.
Mm-hmm. So all them speed traps.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the
Hate
way
that.
down.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have my little routine. We go to walk-ons because it's right down the road.
Yeah.
From
Saw y'all there
last
year.
Yeah, we saw you last year. I mean, that's just kind of the routine we do. I mean, it's not it sucks that other people in the state don't get a part of getting to go.
They only tried it that one rotation,
and I thought it worked.
Didn't really stick.
Well,
with
Tech screwed it up.
Yeah.
They did a lot of screwing up.
That was also around the time that they tried to ban people playing games on college campuses. That's around the same time they stopped doing the Jam
about
at the
all
Joe
that
and doing the Bayou Jam.
Yeah,
because they ruled it as illegal
recruiting
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Because that was
where time's gone now.
That was whenever I was in school, because we would always play at the Bayou Jam or the Jam at the Joe for football, and then we had to go to Calvary my senior year because of all that stuff.
Yep. What's Tulane's facilities like? How long until they just try to put everything in New Orleans?
I don't think they could ever do it in New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't think they could either.
I think there's too many things fighting against that to make that happen.
Literally,
Tulane has a very nice. They do. It's not. I don't know if. You say it's not big enough. I mean, it's high school.
It's a good
game,
size, though.
It's a decent size. It's not.
So I know
maybe it's the right size.
I know if they were building
to me, where they're at now is too big.
Right.
That's why I love ULM. I thought ULM size-wise was perfect.
I think Tech would be really good too. Tech might be a little bit too big.
Tech's too big. It's just a little big.
You could like bowl it off almost.
Yeah.
Like you don't necessarily have to use that upper section.
I wish they would rope off Lake Charles until they needed it and then take the ropes down. I wish. But the problem is you're lower. You don't have a true lower bowl in Lake Charles because
you're far away from the court,
and they didn't even put the seats behind the goals last year. What was up with that?
I don't know, man. The best has been
when the student section's going to at least
the year Walker. Cool. The year Walker won the state championship, and the reason I remember it was Walker because the student section was singing into the camera, so that stands out to me. But when that year, when they had all those crowds behind man,
Weston was down there that year.
Good,
that was
man.
cool.
Yes, yeah,
it was cool seeing that.
Yeah,
one thing you mentioned with I forget what school. I think it was Madison Prep. You said you filmed from half court.
Mm-hmm.
Which is better for you? Under the goal or half court, or like what's your ideal setup?
It is a very, very, very case by case basis.
So if it's like one
you got a
team that you
dunker,
want to see
wanna
more,
hit that goal.
See, one thing that changed majorly for me is when I upgraded my equipment. Because I used to film on a camcorder style camera.
Yeah.
I mean, when I zoomed all the way out, I could be looking at this and see everything.
Yeah.
With the camera I have now, zoomed all the way out, I couldn't even tell what was on that. I'd be so zoomed into those boxes right there,
Yeah.
So I had to kind of change the way that I filmed. So now, if I have a clear baseline, like at the top 28 next week, I'll be like where the 3-point line connects to the baseline. That's my sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the perfect spot for me and my camera.
Because you can kind of get that side angle of a dunk or something.
I'm out far enough. I can pretty much, and I've filmed so many games, man. That I kind of know. Almost muscle memory,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
I'm starting to notice.
You can feel a play coming and everything,
I've started to notice that I can film without looking at my screen.
Yeah,
and I can follow everything pretty good. I try not to do that too much so I don't screw something up.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I like Anacoco Monday. I ended up. It's a lot of man. No shade to any cheerleaders that may be watching this, but man, y'all are in the way. But so that's one thing that drastically changes how I can film is if there's cheerleaders on the baseline or not.
Some of them small schools don't even have a baseline.
In Anacoco, I was on one end, and I'm gonna pull it up and show you. But I was on one end, up in the stands, which was it worked out good.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked the shot, and that's another part of it. Sometimes I like to switch it up.
Yeah.
Now I talked about Madison Prep. One thing about their gym is under behind one of their goals there is seating, and man, when I first started filming there, I would sit on the bottom row, right there, and man, so many times those guys would go up for a dunk and somebody would be walking in front of me, and I would get aggravated.
Yeah,
and so man, that's what you got to do, man. As far as filming, you've got to say what in this gym right here with this lighting, this crowd, these cheerleaders, these other people with cameras, this whatever.
Yeah.
Where do I need to get?
And if it's a game where one team has like the star player and the other doesn't, you might want to switch baselines with that team.
Absolutely.
Well, if it's a Madison Prep versus Lafayette Christian,
right,
you can just sit in the middle and watch both teams.
See, and that's definitely an advantage of getting in the middle. A lot of times when I'm at those games where I know
the big teams,
both I hate to miss, which I don't miss it because I can zoom that far.
But it's different from the other side.
Yeah, I mean, I like switching it up. I mean, even from a content standpoint, I like the look of some of that, and of course, when you're putting together mixtapes or whatever, it's cool to have some different angles.
Yeah,
and if you're just one guy filming, you want some different. We don't have most of the time we don't have more than one camera at a game.
Yeah.
For top 28, we'll have two for sure. So we will have a couple different angles there. So that'll be good. But yeah, man, that's an interesting point that you brought up. That's a hidden thing that a lot of people probably wouldn't think about. You know, but yeah, I mean, any gym I walk in, man, first thing I'm looking for is honestly it's cheerleaders. I mean,
and go away from them.
Don't clip that. I got to see where the cheerleaders are going to be standing, so I know where to film from.
So you know where to go away from.
Exactly.
That's what Peyton does.
Literally,
he goes to an LSU
94
game.
feet.
Peyton goes to an LSU game. Where's cheerleaders?
Well, I'm going right where the cheerleaders are at. Yep. And Olivia Dunn. And
I saw LSU gymnastics like number 3 in the nation.
number 2 now.
Oh, number 2. There we go.
Yeah, number 2.
Shout them out.
Shout them out.
Anything else with this? We can wrap it up. Y'all got anything else to say?
No, I'm good.
No, we're good.
No,
go
yeah.
Winfield.
I'm ready.
Well, what's the date on the Classic?
April 6th at
All right.
Pineville High School.
And we're planning on being there. Hopefully to get some content going.
we should have talked about that a little bit, man.
We're gonna get some ideas out there. Try to get some interviews with the kids, stuff like that. Get them involved, and
that'll be good for them, man. That'll be interesting to give them that opportunity.
Trade
that screen.
Yeah, give us the opportunity.
Pretty please.
We will give him a hoodie he can wear all over LSU campus if he wants.
Please. Hey, NIL deal right there.
That's right.
Hey, we can't offer much, Trey, but hey, we can offer our love.
That's right.
You'll get a lot of that. I can promise you.
All right, that's it for this.
This ain't how it's supposed to be. It should be just you and me. I can't